Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 31 of Sonic the Hedgehog IDW Comic Review. Now, as you know, issue 31 is meant to sort of take place after the Metal Virus, where we find out that Sonic has ended up in Blaze's dimension, and we see how characters deal with the after effects. And the cover mainly has Sonic's friends like Amy, Cream, Vector and all that, partying while a giant metal hand shows up. And the story starts off with Blaze having tea, saying, the Sonic the Hedgehog I knew was a hero, a paragon. He was swift and free as the wind. He had no master, but fought for everyone and everything. And turns out Sonic doesn't remember who he is, and says, he sounds very impressive. I'd like to meet him one day. And you can tell that Blaze is annoyed that he doesn't remember anything, and Sonic saying, I'm afraid I haven't the foggiest, Your Highness. I met the most precious little girl, and thought who dubbed me Mr. Needlemouse. I like the sound of that. And you can kind of tell Blaze is starting to wondering whatever happened to Sonic on his world isn't good. And we kind of see how Amy has to deal with what happened after the event of the Metal Virus, with the Restoration HQ base now demolished, and wish things could go back to normal. So we see Amy meeting Jules, and offers to sort of take over and help out, which we see Amy saying, thank you. Oh my, I didn't realize you were so strange. And we kind of see how Amy gives Jules the tour of the praise and keeps her up to speed. We see how Rough and Tumbles are brought back to normal, and basically Tangle and Tails brings them back onto the surface. And also then pointing out that the Metal Virus has been killed, and they offered to let them become good guys, who say, you dorksters gave us a free pass to run wild. Look out, world, the baddest boys are back. So, back in jail by the end of the day? If they get out lost in the mines. And we kind of see how Tangle asks Tails how he's taking Sonic's potential demise, but we can tell that Tails isn't taking it badly, as he knows that Sonic has survived worse, and even basically planning to do a big party and saying everyone's invited after the Metal Virus thing had been killed. We see how Silver's now back on his future and sees to his happiness and even joy that everything's back to normal. And we kind of see how Eggman creates Omega a new body and even creates failsafes, who says, it gets better. I'll be using you for a special project. Welcome back to the Eggman Empire, E123. And we see how Orbot and Cubot are letting out the reports after everything that happened, and knows that the matters have gotten worse now, as they found out that Savok is now in prison, which will eventually be released in Sonic Bad Guys, and even the other members of the Deadly Six. So of course, he has to sort of act quickly, despite Orbot and Cubot suggesting a vacation, and wants to attack Sonic's friends now that Sonic's gone, and even wants to know what happened to Sterling after the events. We see that Sterling is now in a sort of warehouse saying, oh, Doctor, why can't you see the error of your ways? Eggman truly is the genius I thought him to be, but he impacts in his execution, and Sonic is every bit the powerhouse I expected, but he's just reckless. And we kind of see how Sterling plans to take over. We see how Vector and Team Chaotic also have to kind of do lost person cases and answering the phones. We see how Vanilla, Cream and the others offer to do help and even give them food. We kind of see how they offer to take over, with Kamel doing the paperwork, Cheese and Jacola basically doing the paperwork, and even having Cream help her with the phone calls and go off to party. So we kind of see how Root has found Shadow, and we kind of see how Shadow's all quiet to himself and wonders why he messed up and why he let himself get easily turned into a metal creature, and says, "It's unacceptable. If you can't talk about it, I'll leave it be. I owe him now. He's gone. That's all." And we kind of see how she offers Shadow to come to a party, which he passes. And we see how everyone is celebrating at Tangle's hometown. We see how Jet is dismayed that he didn't get a statue for helping. And we kind of see how Whisper wants to get at Jet's team after what happened during the events of one of the Sonic annuals. And we kind of see, to their shock, that Eggman's back and says, "I'll be ending all of yours." And this is the story. And the next issue is issue 32, with Eggman using a more mecha version of Omega's body. And this is the end of the issue. So I think issue 31 is pretty good. We see how everyone is starting to rebuild their lives once again, and we kind of see how there's going to be a lot of repercussions after the metal virus, and see how characters deal with the after effects. I also feel, Sonic's the main character, so he's not gonna die, and I don't think they would have the guts to kill him off. So I think the issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.